was not in a rush to put out an episode yet on my channel. And the reason was that I was still in shock of what the fuck did I just watch. This was an amazing episode. This is how you do a horror episode, okay? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are diving deep into It. Welcome to Derry, Season 1, Episode 1. Before we get started, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned because we're going down the rabbit hole to explore how Jupiter Hill, one of Stephen King's most chilling asylums, connects to Derry and several of his other novels. Now first, I want to talk about my overall thoughts in this episode. Now right out the gate, the premiere nailed it. The cinematography was stunning, hauntingly nostalgic, capturing the grit and gloom of the 1962 era perfectly. From the wardrobe and movie posters to the small town movie theater, the world building felt like a living flashback. What I really appreciated was how the episode didn't rush to show Pennywise. Instead, it focused on the manifestation of evil through the townspeople, their fears, guilt, and trauma. The characters see the darkness growing in that town each long before the clown ever shows up. Each person in Derry is carrying something broken, something festering beneath the surface. This isn't just a supernatural horror, it's psychological horror rooted into pain, repression, and generational scars. Now, before you dive into episode 1, please make sure you read Stephen King book It and watch chapter 1 and chapter 2 of the movie It for order you to understand the entire series. Don't just dive into the episode without either watching or reading the book, because if you don't do those things, you're not going to understand what's going on, and that's just my opinion. Now let's talk about Maddie, the boy in the theater who sneaks in without a ticket. He's young, too young to have seen what he's seen, yet he walks around with a pacifier in his mouth. And I know you guys are thinking like he is too old to be having a pacifier, but if you think about it, it's not just a quirky trait, it's a sign of deep anxiety and unresolved trauma, because if you notice, that little boy was abused, and you can tell by his face. It's his coping mechanism. Whatever he witnessed in Derry left a permanent mark on him, and not only that, he was dealing with trauma with his dad as well. And also when he got dissed by Lily and his somewhat, I don't know if you call it friends, but they didn't want to hang out with him neither. Now when Maddie says he wants to leave Derry, you can feel that desperation, but as we quickly learn, not everyone in this town can be trusted. And the eerie scene with the pregnant woman and her demon baby, that vintage Stephen King right there. King often used birth imagery to represent the cycle rebirth of evil in Derry. The sewers, Pennywise lure, are literally described as the town's bowels or womb birthing monsters. Every 27 years, death and disappearance act like a grotesque rebirth ritual. And Pennywise finally spider form laying eggs reflects how evil reproduces itself, feeding and multiplying through human fear. Evil in King's world isn't just something that arrives from the outside, it's something we give birth to through guilt, silence, and complicity. Now, if you are paying attention, there was some amazing Easter eggs in this episode, especially the turtle. It's everywhere, on the mascot, the Cracker Jack prize, and even background props. In King's mythology, the turtle is an ancient cosmic being, a guardian or creation, opposing to Pennywise, who embodies the destruction. The turtle is passive but benevolent, and it sustains reality rather than controlling it. It's said to have vomited up the universe after a stomach ache, a weird but poetic image of accidental creation. And during the ritual of Chud, Bill communicates with the turtle through a vision, learning even though it can't directly stop it, it believes in human courage and imagination as the ultimate weapon against evil. So within this episode, every turtle reference reminds us of that cosmic balance: creation versus destruction, faith versus fear, and imagination versus corruption. Next, we're introduced to Lily, a girl that was recently in Jupiter Hill Asylum after a tragic event evolving around her father. She's currently struggling both emotional and spiritually, and her present ties the series back to the King's wider universe. Now, Jupiter Hill isn't just a random asylum. It was one of the most infamous institutions in King's multiverse. You might remember Henry Bowers from It became one of his most famous patients. It's also referenced to Insomnia, Need for Things, Gerald's Game, Leslie's Story, The Dark Half, The Tommyknockers, and more. This mental institution is like a crossroads connecting to Derry, Castle Rock, and Haven, the major towns in King's Maine universe. Whenever someone's mind breaks under the pressure of supernatural evil, Jupiter Hill is where they end up. Then there's Leroy and Polly. Military men, Leroy came back from Korea, and it seems that they are trying to put him back in with another aircraft. Now, Leroy gets ambushed by some people he don't know, and they want the classified information on the aircraft, but Leroy refused to share that classified information. Another reminder that Derry's corruption doesn't just come from the sewers, it's woven within the human ambition and fear as well. So I'm very curious of why they want that aircraft classified information, and if so, what the hell they was going to do with that information. We also meet Terry and Phil, who were friends with Maddie, or somewhat friends. After Maddie's disappearance, Terry becomes obsessed with finding out what really happened. His family Jewish background adds a layer of realism, schism, faith, and the clash between traditional and trauma. Now, when Lily tells him about hearing a song through the bathtub drain, they don't believe her until the haunting begins. Now, at the library, they discover an article about Maddie's disappearance, which links him to the daughter of a theater employee, and that's when Ronnie enters, who reveals the police tried to blame her father. When one of the kids mentioned what Maddie was singing, Ronnie is alarmed and says she heard the same thing. Now, the song that they heard was You Got Trouble by the Music Man. Now, in the Music Man, Harold Hill is a con artist who manipulates the town by inventing a moral crisis, claiming that a pool table will corrupt the youth, all to sell them instruments for a fake boys band. It's satire on how fear sells. Just like Welcome to Derry series, Hill feeds on hysteria, convincing people their safety is at risk and profiting off their panic. It's also a subtitle nod to the real world themes, moral panics, propaganda, and how evil often wears a friendly face. If you look at this through the Stephen King's lens, you similar to how Pennywise manipulates Derry, feeding on fear, twisting morality, and hitting evil beneath charm and nostalgia. Both Hill and Pennywise exploit the community repressed guilt, create fake enemies to distract from real decay, and thrive because the town wants to believe in simple answers. That ending with the bloodbath in the theater was pure chaos. Whether it was real or a nightmare or a sequence is set with the tone, and Derry is back and no one is safe. And all I have to say is I couldn't believe them kids was gone. I was shocked. I was thinking in my head when I was watching this towards the end, I kept saying to myself, it gotta be a dream. I know it is. I know somebody gonna wake up and it's gonna be all a dream. It was not no damn dream. Okay? Majority of them kids got slaughtered in a brutal way. And I was like, damn. And Welcome to Derry episode 1 delivers the atmosphere, the mystery, and the symbolism in a way that truly honors Stephen King's legacy. From its unsettling visuals to its layered storytelling, it feels like the start of something epic. I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. Strong debut, excellent tension, and tons of lore to unpack. And like I said, I am currently rereading it to catch all the connections, and I'll be back with the breakdown of episode 2 soon. Drop your theories in the comments. What do you think is really happened to Maddie, and how deep do you think the Jupiter Hill connection will go? And also, if you watch my entire video, make sure you put a red balloon in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and until then, see you later.